Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of our bizarre and unusual world. Today I'm back with actually a highly requested topic. Quite a few have requested this particular creature. Today's episode is all about the Jersey Devil. So, as usual for this series, I cover the who, what, when, where, why, and how of a bizarre or unusual topic. Let's start with the what. Like, what the heck is the Jersey Devil? As I started researching this, I saw that it is extremely popular within the United States. However, I hadn't really heard about it until people started requesting it for this series. Now, granted, I am across the country from where the Jersey Devil is extremely popular. But still, this is a famous monster within the United States, cryptid, story within folklore. This creature is kind of different than other monsters, as it doesn't resemble one particular thing. It's kind of bits and pieces of other animals combined together to create this Jersey Devil. It is said to have red eyes, a horse's head, large bat wings, goat-like feet, and a serpent-pointed tail. Some would even describe it as a dragon-like. This monster is said to kill livestock, screw with people, snatch up children, and offer high-pitched screams. Basically, anything that was related to, like, a bad omen is related to the Jersey Devil. So, where? Where exactly does the Jersey Devil come from? As you probably guessed, this is extremely popular and comes from New Jersey, on the east coast of the United States. To be exact, the thick forest in the Pine Barrens, southern New Jersey, is where a lot of these reports come from. So when did this story start up? When did people start talking about the Jersey Devil? Well, the stories and the myths of this creature started in the 1700s. As for the who started this legend? There's actually a couple different origin stories for the Jersey Devil, so I'll tell you a couple of them, but let's start with the most popular origin story for this creature. The year was 1735. It said a woman that was part of the Leeds family was pregnant yet again. Jane Leeds, also known as Mother Leeds. Now, this woman already had 12 children and was expecting her 13th. The story goes that she had to do everything around the house. She had to work, care for the children, that her husband was kind of just not participating in their life or a little bit of a drunk, so everything pretty much fell to her shoulders. So in a fit of pain, anger, and emotion, Jane Leeds cursed her child and said something to the effect of, "I hope this one isn't a child. Let this one be a devil." And I'm just like, how is that gonna really help you, girl? Like, I feel like maybe raising a devil child would be harder than raising a baby. Maybe we should just stop sleeping with the drunk husband. I don't know. That's just my opinion when I read this story. The legend says that when she went into labor, it was a stormy night, and when she gave birth, things seemed to be normal. The baby boy was just fine until a couple minutes later. As time went on and the minutes passed, the child began to grow at an unnatural rate. Soon he was the size of 2 grown men. He had the horse of a face, the tail, the hooves, all of that scary shit. It started as a baby and turned into this monster within minutes of giving birth to this baby. The creature then goes crazy, went off and attacked some of the midwives, broke down one of the doors, and was killing some of its siblings and other family members before it shot up the chimney and disappeared, basically. In some versions of this story, it also killed the mother in the process. Alternate versions of this story suggest that maybe Jane was some sort of witch, and a curse or a spell was put on her family, and that is why this baby turned into a monstrous creature. So historically, there is reference to a Jane and Daniel Leeds that did have children in that area. But there is no mention of a tragic death, a demon baby being born, or anything of that nature within historic records. So I guess you could say that is the legend versus history in this case. There's also speculation that this legend was related to a different Leeds family. It needs to be noted that Leeds was a very common name in early settlers within the New Jersey area, and connections to Leeds family lines can be made to people living in New Jersey today. So it could have been just a different family and not anything to do with Jane or Daniel's children.
In 1735, my ancestor, Mother Leeds, was pregnant with her 13th child, and it said, under the pain of birth, of labor, she cried out, "Let it be the devil," and so it was. The baby was born normally at first, but then metamorphosed into this dragon-like creature.
Some references suggest that part of the family was cursed to begin with, and not for the reason you might think. A member of the Leeds family in the late 1600s wrote the Leeds Almanac. Now, this did not go well with some of the townspeople. It was immediately classified as like some pagan witchcraft stuff because it included star charts. Because they immediately thought that it was some sort of dark arts, because he was referencing stars, they started burning the books and thinking he was just some creepy old pagan guy. So it's kind of suggested that maybe this story and legend was specifically made up to further make this family look crazy. They already thought that they were some like dark witches and warlocks, so why not say that their family was connected to the Jersey Devil monster? I even read something about like Benjamin Franklin writing his own version and trying to bash the Leeds family, so played off with the ghost stories and making them sound creepy. It just sounded like a bunch of drama going on back in the day. So that is the main core of the most popular legend. In fact, this creature was actually referred to as the Leeds Devil for decades because of that family connection and the town that it started in. It wasn't even until like the 1900s that the name Jersey Devil became popular. There is another version to the Jersey Devil story. It talks of a young American girl that fell in love with a British soldier. Now, they had an affair, they wanted to run off together, all that jazz, and the townspeople didn't like that because it was seen as treason. It was during the war, and this American girl should not be shacking up with this British soldier, basically. So the townspeople cursed her pregnancy, and when she gave birth, it was to the monstrous Jersey Devil. Another story is a young woman that encounters a mysterious lady begging for food. When the lady refuses to give her anything, the witch, or whatever she is, curses her. And it would be years later that her firstborn child becomes this devilish creature because of that lady she met in the woods, which kind of sounds like the beginning of Beauty and the Beast. No matter which origin you believe, it was said to be such a dark and big deal in the area back then. Religious leaders were performing exorcisms on the town, like on an area of land they were performing exorcisms, but obviously nothing worked. I also wanted to include in the Who section of this, who has seen or reported seeing the Jersey Devil, with a lot of these folklore legends and cryptids. Some of the stories kind of spread like wildfire, so I wanted to touch base on that. The biggest set of reports of this monster being seen was in 1909. A single week got the most reports ever of seeing the Jersey Devil. It was like 30 plus sightings in one single week. It was so intense that newspapers were reporting this crazy monster, and shops were closing down, factories sent workers home, school was canceled, and everyone was told to stay in their homes and be safe because the Jersey Devil monster was out, and so many people were seeing it. And it was prominent people within the society that were reporting seeing this creature. Whether that be government officials, postal workers, townfolk, policemen, and even farmers that saw unusual tracks in the snow out by their property. There are even some reports of like some military personnel seeing some sort of creature in the sky, and they like tried to fire off like cannonballs at it, but it didn't seem to be affected by that. So why? Why did the sightings suddenly spike so quickly? Or why did the legend grow so fastly? And that can all be summed up with bad luck. Remember how I mentioned that the Jersey Devil was related to bad omens? Well, bad omens, bad luck, everyone blamed the Jersey Devil for everything. So when anything went wrong, it was the Jersey Devil's fault. Bad crops? Must be the Jersey Devil. Family problem? Must be the Jersey Devil. Unexplained death? It was the Jersey Devil. Wells going dry, illness, misfortune, all of that jazz was blamed on this creature. And in turn, when the town started talking more and more about this, of course, there were more sightings of this monster.
In colonial days, if a well went dry, or hens didn't lay eggs, or milk went sour, they always blamed it on the Jersey Devil. Even larger things were blamed, like failure of crops.
Over the years, investigations into the creature have been made. Some say that President Monroe sent officials to the woods to search out this beast. It was known as the Jersey Devil Expedition of 1812, but the story is a little sketchy and doesn't have a lot of backing for it. There's like a rumor that the Jersey Devil like crashed through the roof wherever these guys were staying and that they like chopped off its tongue and a claw or something like that, but there's no evidence of that whatsoever. It's just like all talk, part of the myth and lore of this. At one point, a $10,000 reward was put out to look for this animal by the Philadelphia Zoo. That reward still remains uncollected, of course. The Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia was researching this as well. They wondered if it was like some sort of Jurassic period creature that had survived. Some even compare it to like the Loch Ness Monster. But they couldn't find any evidence or anything relating to a creature or a species of that nature living in the New Jersey area. There's also the stories of like farmers shooting and killing the Jersey Devil to protect their livestock, but once again, there's like no evidence of this. It's just like word of mouth. So apparently in 1939, the governor of the state named the Jersey Devil the official state demon. He was quoted as saying, "When I was a boy, I was never threatened with the boogeyman. We were threatened with the Jersey Devil, morning, noon, and night." It's the only state to have a state demon. So how is the Jersey Devil seen today? Well, you know, it's spooky, scary, and people love that sort of thing, and it is the state monster, so it gets quite a bit of publicity in that neck of the woods. In 1982, a hockey team moved to New Jersey, and the new name was the Jersey Devils. There are toys, shirts, and entertainment around this legend. It has had documentaries, movies, TV shows, and all sort of entertainment things made about the Jersey Devil. Fans of the devil actually go out and search for it, like in, you know, Jersey Devil fan groups. I really didn't realize that this was such a big thing, but it's like their version of like Sasquatch, I guess. Because like I have like Sasquatch and Bigfoot groups out here, and they have Jersey Devil ones back east, I guess. Believers are still spooked by this creepy story. Some suggest the monster comes back every 13 years or so it like predicts the bad sign coming. Others just wonder if this story was based on rumor, fiction, or potentially like a child that was born with a genetic defect or something. They were so judgy back then, they would have immediately thought that it was like dark magic or a demon or something, when it would have just been a child that was a little different. I did also read that some people believe the Jersey Devil is actually like a Sandy Hill crane that is just like a misidentified bird all of these years, which is interesting. So what do you guys think? Had you heard of the Jersey Devil? Do you live in New Jersey or the surrounding East Coast area? I would love to hear what your experience with this legend is. I really don't know much about it, just my research for this video. Thanks so much for watching, lovelies, and I will see you in the next video.